If you're not familiar with the Major League Airsoft tournaments, you should go check it out because it's pretty interesting. In a nutshell, you have the attacking team and the defending team. The attacking team starts with the bomb, and you have either bomb site A or bomb site B. The attacking team has to either kill all the defending players or plant the bomb and then have that bomb detonate. The defending team has to either run out the clock and prevent the attacking team from setting the bomb or defuse the bomb once it's armed, and that'll get you the win. It's pretty interesting. Full auto tournaments are way different than non-full auto tournaments. Most tournaments are semi-auto. You could tell who was not ready for a full auto tournament. Here's what really separates a full auto from a semi-auto tournament is the intimidation from the full auto. You can just sort of spray a wall, and teams that aren't either experienced with that format or teams that really haven't accepted what they've gotten themselves into are going to be too scared to go forward and push an objective. So if you're attacking or defending, it doesn't matter. Kind of one of the aspects is, if we just spray these walls every now and then and just sort of hose walls and wood and make sounds, we can scare the other team into staying in position and not advancing. And we can either run out the clock as the defenders, or we can push our way up to the bomb, plant the bomb, and then just start hosing everything and just fear them into submission. That's what worked for a couple times. DOA used this probably pretty well. I will caveat that with saying that DOA did win the Stockton tournament, which was, I think, sometime earlier, 2019, late 2018. I can't really remember. But that's a strategy. It has nothing to do with the fact that, we don't need full auto to be good. Well, that's right. In weekend general play against rentals, against casuals, against non-competitors, you're right. The average competitive player does not need full auto to dominate a lesser opponent. But when we're talking about a tournament format that allows full auto and you're not using it, that's like saying I'm such a good boxer I can do this with one hand behind my back. Maybe against amateurs, but try that against Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. Go ahead. Try that. Say you're so good you don't need an authorized allowable piece of equipment or rule set. See how far that gets you against higher level or the highest level of competition. There were a couple teams that at the beginning had a gentleman's agreement that said, hey, let's just use semi-auto. That's fine. That's perfectly allowable. To my knowledge, that's not against the rules, but you're never going to win the tournament that way. You're not going to go against high-level competition, either locally or Southern California or from out of state. You're never going to be the champions with that mindset. Champions are the champions because they understand the rules, objectives, and allowable equipment, and they dominate with those things. That's why. That's why so many teams did so well, and some teams didn't do as well. Because it's the full auto aspect, man. If you're going against maybe a stock ARP9 or some kid with a stock Crytek or a high-level gun that's high-level out of the box, you're not really factoring in that level of that full auto isn't really going past low 20s in RPS. You start going against like a high-tune HPA gun or a DSG, you're looking at 30 FPS. 30 to 40 FPS sometimes. High 20s, at a minimum high 20s FPS. With amplifiers, with all kinds of other things. It sounds like a boat motor going off. And it scared a lot of kids. Scared a lot of players. Young players and adult players. They had no idea how to respond in some scenarios, and it showed in a lot of the results. It was pretty cool. Speaking as a staff member for the Airsoft Ministry, the field that hosted that tournament, I'm curious to see if full auto tournaments would be appealing for other formats. So, I'd be interested in hosting a 3 or 5 player full auto 5-on-5 or 3-on-3 just deathmatch, just a regular full auto tournament. No fancy objectives, no points, none of that. Just team elimination, full auto. Be curious to see if that would catch on. The problem. I don't want to say the problem. The downside, maybe a problem, to that full auto style is it is not going to be appealing to new players. The MLA format is really only appealing to a very specific niche within competitive players. So you're looking like niche. It's hard enough to get airsofters to compete in regular formats. that are semi-auto. Now you want to take them and be like, hey, you want to go against all these guys with really expensive HPA and DSG guns in a full auto tournament? That's not going to end well. But at the same time, I love that full auto format because no one's making excuses. It's not one of those, hey, he's doing this, that, or the. No, you know when you get hit with a full auto gun. You know. It's very challenging to intentionally not call that. It's very hard to unintentionally not call that. You take a full auto burst from an HPA gun for, maybe let's say 30, 40 RPS a second, and you take a second and a half to the face, to the arm, to the body, even to the plate carrier, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. That's why I love full auto. It's a lot more integrity friendly. It's really challenging to not call a hit. I can't recall in the Stockton tournament, I cannot recall a no call. I can't recall. I didn't have any at the MLA event. I didn't see any. My side refs didn't see any. I didn't really see any. It's a full auto gun, kids. So I'm excited for him. I like him because all the babies stay home. That's it. You're only going to have the high-level competitors there, the guys that aren't making excuses for anything, the guys that really aren't into, complaining or squabbling about petty things that don't matter. You know what you're getting into with a full auto format, and you're only going to get the highest level guys out there, guys that know rules, know comp, all these things. And you're going to have your occasional, hey, this guy said this. You'll have some conduct issues. All right, you'll have to deal with that. Big deal. Get over it. We'll live. But as far as the format and the gameplay goes, it's really hard to have a discrepancy in that. The only, from the MLA side of things, the only real challenge was not really a challenge. It's just reminding players what the authorized bomb planning manner was. So it has to be in contact here, then you have to put it in the thing, or it has to be on top of the barrel. So explaining that can be kind of a challenge, and then reminding players of that. Other than that, there's really no issues. There's no issues with a full auto tournament because, again, you know what you're getting into. I wish more fields would do full auto tournaments. So maybe my field will. We'll see.